All right, it's time to head out. It's the 18th day of March, and I'm just not quite feeling it, but let's go take a little hike and maybe the feeling will come. See you, Rudy. I'm not feeling it due to this big tax bill that we got last week that my wife and I have putting together. We've already put together a plan this week. Today's Thursday, or Wednesday, and on Monday, over the weekend, we formulated a plan. Monday, we went to the tax office and discussed it, and yesterday I formalized it, and we're going to now implement it. This giant tax bill really throws a monkey wrench in our planned transition from pensioners to pension plus Social Security people along the road. And we're still paying our daughters the debt that we took in America to pay our daughter's university, for her university. So we had a plan, and it was all in place to make this transition and to service the debt that we gained in America for university for my daughter. But now this is really throwing a wrench in things. So you'd think I would just sequester myself at home and not go out and do any expenses. Well, we have a plan, and part of that plan is doing this. Why? Well, for a couple of things, but the main reason is the soldiering on session part of this, to not, fall back into fear, out of fear, into a life that's not engaged. So it's keeping out and getting involved and doing things. My wife's out right now with her father, taking him to the clinic. I'm out doing this because it's what I do. I already had a lesson this morning, and the thoughts will continue. But now you get the idea about why I don't quite feel this. Well, when I was doing this last week, I was like, yeah, sure, let's go have let's go have fun. It's a little bit different. This reminds me of when I was softypapa before, and I would go adventuring with the weight of the world on my shoulder, with a young daughter at that time, and I was the sole breadwinner, and all that responsibility and business that was struggling and then failing, and I would go out into the world and up into those mountains right up there and make softypapa videos in spite of all that. And here we go. I'm just doing it again in spite of all that. And there's something about doing it in spite of all that is it's a rarefied air. It's the air where I prefer to live. It's the air where I prefer to breathe. I don't like the sweet air of pure freedom. It's like pure O2. It's too much of a good thing. Carry on. No bear bell just yet. Okay, I stopped at the bank to check balance on something, and here I am at the train station. Let's board the train and go. These are the Shimizu bound side of the tracks. Well, I didn't tell you where we're headed. We're headed to the port town of Shimizu, where I want to buy some shoes. And we're going to squeeze in some Shimizu port town wanderings in there as well. One of my favorite places, and someplace that I've been meaning to return to on my own ever since I came back to Japan. Yet haven't. Today's the day with a lackluster spirit. Let's go try this. Maybe this would be a lackluster hike. Let's see. I'll just sit on this bench. Take this jacket off. It's too warm for that. Okay, here's the big street that runs through Shimizu, and I'm going to head over here towards a place called Dream Plaza, big shopping center, to see if they've got this same shoe that I'm wearing right now, available. I won't buy it right away because I'll have to come back for it, but there's some good looking food. So I cross the street. Once I ascertain if the shoes are available, from there I'm going to head out and we're going to meander along the harbor, along towards the Miho Peninsula, out, and then come back. And it's almost lunchtime, so I'll probably get lunch at a convenience store and take it out and sit by the waterfront somewhere, very picturesque, dangle my feet over the wharf and think. Thinking is problematic at this stage, because sometimes my thoughts, go to the challenge I'm faced, which is good because they keep me alert and alive rather than, complacent. That complacent thoughts, those are dangerous. In fact, complacency is more dangerous, far more dangerous than any, debt that comes and goes. Complacency eats away from the inside. Debt is a challenge on the outside that can be faced down and met, addressed by money's application of resources and hard work. Complacency erodes like a river, undermining the foundations of a house on the side of a bank until it falls in. And I feel vulnerable to that. This way looks interesting. There's a lot of ruin here in Shimizu. It's a ruinous place. Look at that. Someone's in this apartment here is growing seedlings right here on the curb. So ruin, Shimizu is full of ruin, but it's also got lots of potential. This looks interesting. It's like this is the other side of the walkway. I almost went down it, but I was a little unsure. Let's go see. This place is for sale. It's convenient. Certainly located in the city center. Fixer-upper for sure. Continue back that way. That'll take us back where we were. There's some people down there. So let's go back to the way we came. Back to this place. It's certainly landlocked. This place looks like it could be, maybe someone lives there. This one's certainly landlocked. No place to park a car, but I was so tempting to peek in that window, but I won't. You can just see the sign for Dream Plaza ahead. It's like a car lot. Renew. 336,000 yen. No, 336 million yen. Okay, here's the place that we're headed, Dream Plaza. This place sees a lot of tourists because they bring cruise ships here to Shimizu, ships that are touring around Japan. They park there and they let them on board here, and a lot of foreigners come here. So people like me running around with backpacks, it's probably no big deal. And cameras, probably not a big deal. Here's the food court. This Wendy's is new. There's ABC Mart right over there. Okay, so I went into ABC Mart. They have the shoes that I want, but they're twice as much as I thought they were, which means I have to spend a little money when I don't want to spend any money right now. But this is the shoes I use for work, so I got to do it. So I'll have to find a Shimizu bank along the way and pull out some money to pay for it, because I thought I had enough cash on me to do it. Carry on. Oh, Mount Fuji is right over there, but oh, there it is. Hey, it's right in front of my nose. Okay, before I head out into the wander around or even buy the shoes, it's time for lunch. Let's go find a convenience store and, if I can, a bank, a Shimizu bank, which shouldn't be too hard to find. This is Shimizu after all. Get the money, get the food, have lunch, or then carry on. This street looks promising. There's got to be a convenience store, and the river is right up there. Good place. That would be a good place to have lunch. This is the Shimizu Port Sailors Lodge Museum. Welcome to the Shimizu Port. This building is a reconstruction of the Shizu Hiro, a sailor's lodge opened in the Shimizu waterfront in 1868 by a man named Shimizu Chihiro, who used to live down there. I've toured his house. He was kind of like a Robin Hood of this area. Okay, take a look. Here's that same river again. I just had a really awkward encounter with the guy that was turning left there. I was trying to cross the street. It didn't go well. Best intentions sometimes, right? Anyway, look at the water. I remember that house from the softypapa 1.0 days, back when I used to live here more than a decade ago. It was all ramshackle back then. I used to look like it was a great place to live. But gosh, no one's still, this is a really rundown area of town right over here, full of character. It's waterfront too. Anyway, a word about Shimizu no Jirocho. He was kind of a famous guy, kind of like an outlaw guy, a little bit corrupt, like a yakuza. And he was the one that kind of organized a lot of the businesses here. He was kind of a businessman too. And he's kind of a famous folk hero. He wasn't really, and there's an image of him right there. I think nearly anyone my age in Japan knows who he was. Like Robin Hood, everyone would know who Robin Hood is in England. But he was a real character. He lived here. He did a lot of nefarious stuff. One of my favorite quotes of his was, he never lost a sword fight, because he said that whenever he would fight a man, he would pull out his sword and try to tap the other swordsman's end of his sword, and if he could touch the swordsman, he would fight him, touch the end of the sword. But if the swordsman deftly maneuvered the sword out of the way, he knew he met his match, and he would turn around, Jirocho would, and run, yelling, "Sorry, gomen nasai." I thought that was a great story, revealing of his character, and he had lots of such stories like that. Let's go across the street carefully this time, not screwing anybody up this time. Let's see if we can take a look at this old house here. Like I said, it's been in this state for decades. going to reach a dead end here. Look, that place has its own Torii shrine gate. That was the home of a wealthy merchant at one point. Now totally given up. Okay, let's go get some food. Oh, lots of memories. The Miho shrine is just over here where I used to get all the Shinto religious goods, or it was the main supply place that I had when I had my business, shintoreligion.com. I remember that place, that okura, that old house. And here's the little street. Just take a left right here. It's an interesting street, like an old ginza. Now, this is the middle of the day on a Wednesday. There's a fish market right there. If any time this should be active, this should be it. That fish market right, where is it? Oh, right there on the corner. And maybe I can find someplace that will sell bento. We'll see. And then up here a little further, you take a right, and there's a street that has a big Torii shrine gate, which is the entrance to the Miho shrine. We'll see it in a bit. There's people, and I don't want to capture them on the camera, so I'm being very careful. Circumspect, roundabout, discreet. Oh, I think this is Shimizu no Jirocho's house, that famous man's place. Right in there. I've got a video somewhere on my channel for it. That's where he lived. On this old Ginza street in Shimizu. This is not the main Ginza. There's another one over by the harbor. This is the lesser Ginza. Wow, that's a long and narrow lot. You know, this place doesn't feel as depressed as it did when I lived here before. It really felt like it was going down hard then. This place is interesting. Okay, we're almost at the right turn now. We make a right turn here, there's going to be a Torii shrine gate, and then we go through the Torii, and on the left, a little further down, there used to be an old market with a little old lady who would sell candy and stuff. And then across from that is the entrance to the shrine. I thought it was very, it had a provincial feel in the best sense of the word. Although I would be so surprised if she's still around. And I love these houses with these little benches sitting outside. Isn't that nice? Maybe this was a store. I'm sure it was a store at one time. Here we go. Let's turn the corner and have a look. I'll kind of keep my mouth shut. And we'll just take it and look for the house of the woman on the left with the store. To the right, the entrance to the shrine. And I'll keep my mouth shut. And when we go into the shrine, on the right side, there's a place where they sell all the goods. I used to know the priest and his wife pretty well. This shrine has suffered a lot of damage. It suffered vandalism. It was burned by a young boy who set fire to it, and then an earthquake struck. I don't know what the state of it is today. Well, as expected, the woman is gone. The store is all closed up. The shrine is completely redone. This is the main keep, but there was an enormous old style building in front of it, the one that suffered the earthquake damage and the vandalism, and it's been completely redone. So they tore it down. After the earthquake, they rebuilt it as in its old style. The whole community chipped in, and then the vandal burned it, and they tore the whole thing down and rebuilt it. So it's gone. There's a group of fox statues here that come back from the day, remind me. And then I've got two fox statues in my own yard that are almost the same size as the smaller ones. Let's walk through. I'm struck with a real sense of melancholy seeing this place after all these years. And there's the window over there where I would buy all the omamori and ofuda. Maybe I'll do that again in the future. But I think that this shrine really struggled and to be met with so much tragedy. But it's still here. Maybe I need to keep that in mind. Although what I'm experiencing right now is far from tragedy. Not at all tragic. Just difficult. Weighing on the mind, because the mind wants peace. Sometimes life won't have it that way. Here's an interesting bench facing the shrubberies. Bench faced inward. Okay, I'm back out front. There's where the woman's shop was, right there. I need some food. Let's go this way. I think there's more civilization, so to speak, up here. Maybe we can find something there. Look at that quaint place. Okay, the map says there's a 7-Eleven not far away from here, which is optimal. Let's go there. Get some bento and melon pan, maybe a cup of coffee. You know what they say about running into a Lawson station on your way to a 7-Eleven? Well, that's what happened here. I got myself a nice, really hearty lunch and a melon pan, and I've got some water already. So I'll go back over here towards here, and I'll find some place to sit and have my lunch, and then we'll carry on. I'll save the coffee for later. I'll find another coffee shop to convenience store to dump off the trash, and then buy a coffee there to pay them for their service. So head back in. Here's a house for sale. Maybe just that house, not that one. Let's take a look. Did you see how the mailbox is sealed up? One of those signs that you can tell in an empty house. No mail, please. No mail here. No one to receive it. Oh, I like this quiet little street. This wouldn't be a bad place to live. And there's those trees over there. That's the Miho shrine that we were just at. We'll go have lunch there. Good place to have lunch. Look at this old building. It's the roof looks like it could fall in. I really do like this little house across from the shrine. I'd lay odds that's an empty house. And look where it is. Wow. And there's that little Ginza Street over there. Lawson, 2-minute walk away. Let's have lunch. There's a bench over here where I used to have lunch with my daughter. It's kind of got the sign in the way. Let's find a better one. Over here, maybe. This is something I haven't seen for a while. This is where you take your old ofuda and luck charms and kamidana or whatever religious items and put them here. And then the priest will have a ceremonial burning of the old items, I think at the end of the year. So I think they've been burned. So that's what they've collected so far this year. All the charms where the luck has worn off. Here's a nice place to sit, right here. Well, not bad. For about $3. Maybe less than $3. Chicken, rice, and sauce on the top. You know, the story of the shrine that I told you about, the two disasters, the fire and then the earthquake and then the fire vandalism, kind of remind me of the trials that we have. I know that sounds kind of sophomoric to say, very obvious, right? But it's true. Yet here it is, a decade later after all that stuff. I come back and the shrine's here. It's not the same. It's not the same it was. Something was lost. But it persists. Characters that I remember are gone. But as I was sitting here, an older woman came, maybe just 5 years older than me, parked her bike there, went around so as not to disturb me, and then up through the gates, prayed, and came back, went back out of the shrine and around, simply so as not to disturb me, very Japanese. And as she was standing there to go, she gave me a look, and I gave her a nod, and we explained some pleasantries. And I thought that even though the characters are gone, the old woman is gone, the old building is gone, it all carries on in one form or another. And even though I know it's indulgent of me to keep talking about my own situation, but in the words of Henry David Thoreau, I would fain not talk so much of myself. Were there anyone else who I knew so well, I too will carry on. Sure, I have these challenges to face, these burdens to carry, and I'll carry them. I'll enjoy my meal, and I won't worry too much, and I'll just carry on. The priest came out, walked right out over there. Oh, excuse me, went over, did something, and then turned around and stopped and looked at me. And I looked at him. I didn't nod. He didn't nod. I barely recognized him. If it wasn't for the fact that this circumstance, this setting is his setting, where I would expect to see him, I would never recognize him. I'm sure he didn't recognize me either. I know, someone might be wondering, well, why don't you say hi? Why don't you go over and say hi? He might remember me. I was a regular customer. He and I had a business relation. I've been here, hundreds of times. I used to bring my daughter. Used to park right here in these little parking spots right here. Do you hear that? There's koto. Japanese koto music floating up from somewhere over there. We'll go chase it down. Anyway, I didn't say hi. So why didn't I go say hi? Well, just sometimes some memories just feel like they're better left in the past. Here's an interesting old apartment building. Oh, here's another house for sale. This one's right by the water. That's pretty nice, pretty big. Here's a big old sea gate. See how it operates. There's something very melancholy about this greenhouse with the "He's Coming Home" sign on it and the old dog place. It could be an Akia. It's got gas. No, maybe not. Maybe someone does live there. But sometimes places become Akia before they actually become Akia. Empty before they're empty. Just like, I'm not mean to laugh in an insensitive way. It's more of a laugh in an uncomfortably ironic, self-reflective way. One of the famous legends of this area is the Hagoromo maiden, the maiden of the Miho Peninsula. I hope I'm saying it right. Anyway, she comes down from heaven with her flowing garments, takes it off, hangs it on a pine tree, goes in for a skinny dip. It doesn't sound like I'm being respectful. Goes in for a swim, and a fisherman comes by and steals the clothes and won't give it back unless she sings the eternal, teaches him the celestial song or something like that, which I guess she does, and they get married or something. Anyway, that's her right there. A statue of her with her flowing thing behind on the road to Miho is right over there. I just ran across the road. Shh, don't tell anybody. We'll have our melon pond out here. I haven't been out here for a long time. Japanese inshore, near-shore fishing boats are famous for being long and thin. Makes them fast. Something about hydrodynamic principles that, wide and stout boats are sturdy but slow, but long and thin are fast but not as stable, I guess. That's the Daikoku Maru. Maru is what they put at the end of the boats to make them like a boat. This is the third. Daikoku is a Shinto luck god, the god that would of the good harvest. There's Mount Fuji beyond. I think I'll sit right here at the end here. Why not? It's a good place, huh? Yeah, let's eat up Melon Pond. Here's a graveyard where old bicycles go to die. Maybe an old car too. Some of those bicycles look pretty nice still. Yeah, I really need that new pair of shoes. Look at that. These are art pieces, statues, memorials that I guess have served their purpose and they've been taken by the municipality and dumped here. When even memories aren't even wanted anymore, when even art isn't wanted. Imagine these trucks. I wonder if that's the same story with them. By the looks of it, I'd say that boat was entirely sunk underwater for a long time, the way the barnacles are on everything, before it was fished out. Okay, I think I'm close to the bank, right up here. And I can get the money for the shoes and head back, although I'm on the other side of the universe from where the shoes are. That was interesting seeing the inside of that house they're tearing down, huh? Okay, the bank should be right around here. There it is. Okay, I've got the money for the shoes now. So let's make our way across town and go buy some shoes. But first, there's a 7-Eleven. Let's get a cup of coffee. Latte, actually. And I'll dispose of my trash from the other place. All these busy people working at the work-a-day. Must say, I do miss it in a way. It's like missing an old girlfriend who was sometimes bad to me. That's exactly what it's like. It's exactly. Look at this tile. You know, I think I've stumbled upon the perfect thing. Oh, look at this. The slide. Do you see that? That's a slide. Escape slide. This is probably like a kid's facility or an old people's facility. Just, if there's a fire, just push them out the slide and they slide down. I mean, I don't mean to be disrespectful. Oh, look, let's see the prices. Ricky 2, you can get a cut. Or for adults, 4,000. And various prices of others. Ricky 2, but back to that point. Ooh, there's an Nokia down there. Work being like the girlfriend that I used to love to hang out with, although I knew she was bad for me. And I ended up breaking up with her and moving on because I knew that was better for me. But still, I miss her sometimes. That doesn't go anywhere. Just like that girlfriend. Oh, watch out. I wonder what the heck that was. Here's a tiny little park. It's got a bench. I could sit and enjoy my coffee, but I'm enjoying it walking. You know, you're not supposed to really eat and walk in Japan, but I think drink and walk is okay. Eat and walk isn't so bad after all anymore. That's a very pleasant little park. It's a shame not to sit in it. I feel guilty not doing it. Oh heck, let's go back into it. And there's another one right there. As if this little park wasn't enough, there's another one right across the way. Let's go back and sit in it. Just because I've reached the point in my life where, you know, saying, well, I'll come back and do it again another day is an untenable, implausible proposition. That's something I haven't seen in a long time. Old men sitting around at the park playing Go. Boy, I haven't seen that since like the 90s. Check this out. It's this little tiny coffee shop here. Chikige Coffee. I mean, it looks really cozy on the inside. But you buy their coffee. You can get cans of coffee up here and drinks, but you buy them down here. Look, 900 yen, Brazil premium chocolate, Ethiopia Kenya. Pretty expensive stuff. I guess you buy it from the vending machine. A ticket comes out, and then you can go inside. Seems to be closed, but very interesting. Just on a little alley somewhere. I think I found a good pair on sale. Okay, I'm pleased. I got a nice pair of shoes from ABC Mart. These are Adidas. They're not the shoes that I'm wearing right now, which are really nice, but I found them my size and they're wide. It's interesting. It's not hard to find my size anymore. It used to be harder in the old days. And it's wide and it was on sale at a good price. I saved a lot of money. So I'm going to go back to the bank and put the money that I took out right back in because I don't want to, if I keep it in my pocket, I'll spend it. This is kind of interesting. This store sells Kirkland tissue from Costco. So you can get Costco goods without having to go all the way to Costco, just pay an extra premium for it. I guess the theme of today's hike was reconciling my sense of responsibility and obligation to the fact that there's different stages of that. I mean, I've got everything ready to go. Today I have nothing else to do. I might as well get out and do this. This is a positive, this is a cash flow positive thing. YouTube does make money, so making a video helps out as well. This giant tax bill has really consumed a lot of my mental cycles in the last half week, which I guess is right because it's important and I have to make sure that I do it right. It's important to me to do it right. And you know what? I like this. I like this way of being. Doesn't mean that I want these kind of problems in my life regularly, but I don't like it when life is, I'm embarrassed to say this. I feel ashamed to say this. I don't like it when life is too easy. Life's better when it's a bit of a challenge. Up to a point, right? I went in the wrong bank to give the money back. Duh. Such a kid. Yoy, yoy. Okay, I've made it back to the train station. Let's go inside and head on home. Okay, I'm back at the bank with the police looking over my shoulder to deposit the money back in. Okay, coming off the busy road to the street that leads home. It was a good day, reflective day. I wouldn't call it necessarily a fun day. It felt like a day of serious, if not productive. I think I would have felt better if I'd gone to work today. But this is the next best thing to that. I do have a job, 2 jobs now, and hours are going to increase as I want them to, because I want to ramp up and I want to power through to get through this unexpected tax debt, which is it's like a great meteorite appearing in the sky, threatening to obliterate the planet. If I can just nudge us out of the way, and I will. Because one thing I do in life is I keep trying. All right, continue the uphill climb. Thanks for joining me. Until next time.